Hey, hello everyone. Good evening. Welcome. I'm going to call the regular meeting of Nevada City Council to order. Today is Thursday, July 27, 2023, and it is officially 6:30 p.m. Councilmember Peterson, if you would please read our tribal recognition. Vice Mayor Peterson, if you would take a minute to get used to.
Yeah, I might not answer to it. Who knows? So we acknowledge that the Nisenan people are still here among us today, though nearly invisible. We understand that we are on Nisenan land that was never ceded, and the original tribal families have yet to recover from the near genocide of their people. As a resident or visitor in Nisenan land, we support the Nevada City Rancheria Nisenan tribe in efforts to stabilize their people as well as their campaign to restore federal recognition.
Thank you, Gary. And Councilmember Adam Klein, will you please lead us all in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I absolutely will. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, thank you. I would like to note that council members Fleming and Cece will not be with us this evening. We do have a quorum, so we're going to move forward. Madam Deputy City Clerk, roll call, please.
Council Member Klein.
Here.
Vice Mayor Peterson.
Present.
Mayor Fernandez.
Here. Great. Council, this is now the time to adopt the agenda. It's the time for any agenda modifications. If you'd like to make any changes to the agenda, pull consent items, or do we have any recusals to announce? All right, nothing. I'm looking for a motion and a second to adopt the agenda.
I move that we adopt the agenda.
I second.
Great. We have a motion and a second by the two other members present. Those in favor, say aye.
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 Excellent. None opposed. Motion carries.
Get swapped back and forth with
All right, next we're going to move on to presentations, where I would like to invite our Police Chief Dan Foss up for a new employee introduction for Officer Burnmeister.
Okay, come on up. So this is Officer Jesse Burmeister. He's our newest officer. He got off training yesterday, Jesse. So he'll be on his own. What that means is basically they do a one-year training process, almost is what it equates to, just about. They go to the academy, which is 6 months long, and then once they are first hired by a law enforcement agency for their first time, they do another near 6 months where they ride with an experienced officer called the FTO, field training officer, which trains them in field. Jesse, obviously, while he was going through this, he has a very noisy addition to his family that he had to deal with as well. But we can all hear the music in the classroom, which is his young child named Roland, their first. So I'll tell you a little bit about Jesse's background. Jesse was from this area most of his life. He went to Bear River. Thought he was going to go to Tahoe area for a while, but then he had a high school sweetheart who he ended up marrying named Jessica. So it's Jesse and Jessica. And soon after they were married in 2014, Jesse went into the United States Marine Corps and did 5 years there. During his time in the Marines, he had 3 goals for himself, he said. He wanted to build his own confidence and better himself as a person. He wanted to obtain the rank of sergeant, and he wanted to become a black belt in the United States Marine Corps martial arts program. So he achieved all 3 in the 5 years he was in, and his lifelong goal was to be a police officer. So going through that set him up to be a police officer, and we were lucky enough to grab him for here for Nevada City. He's got an AA in criminal justice, and I like to say this just because I find it to be a common trend in this community that at one point he also worked at BNC Hardware, which seems like everybody that I have hired or has been here for any amount of time worked at BNC
Or they
Hardware.
will when they retire.
Yeah, 100%. So in the back, she didn't want me to call her up because she said she was shy, but that's his wife, Jessica, and she's also very much a part of our family. We're such a small family here that it is important that what I always say for the new officers when they're coming on, more than half of their waking life will probably be spent at work. So if you take out the time we sleep, more than half the time they're around, they're going to be spent here. Especially at our agency, they're required to do overtime. We have a lot of special events, which are great, but our officers work all those events. So it's very important that not just Jesse, but his family is a part of us all as a whole. So we're very excited to have him. We're very excited for the next very long time until he retires, and Jesse will be here with us. So with that, Jesse, you have anything to say? I'm sure he doesn't. Never say something he doesn't. We were going to do a pinning, but his wife didn't want to come up and do a pinning with him, so we're going to take a picture though. So I'm just going to shake hands and see.
Chief, we're going to work on your couth a little bit.
Yeah.
It's true.
You know, it's so bad, my couth, I don't even know what I said that was uncouth. Anyway, this is Jesse, and we're very proud to have him.
Welcome, Jesse.
Welcome. Nice to meet you. Nice to see you.
Jesse, glad to have you.
Welcome back to
Great. And then also, we have another new employee introduction by Sean Grayson of Donna Wilkins. Please. let us know.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So, as you already noted, Donna Wilkins, she was promoted to city manager. That's why she's in my seat over there. Exactly. So Donna is our new administrative services technician, the position that was just created in our last budget, really focusing on a combination of things between HR risk management and all of our single points of failure in finance and HR, allowing for the rest of the team, which is Gabby, Brittany, and Tanya, to both have capacity building capability, as well as for us to be able to do that work when we do have to let them take vacation every now and then. It's only human. So Donna has been with us the last couple summers, working primarily doing parks and recreation activities as a part-time employee. And during that time, she availed herself of opportunities to learn our systems and how things work, and learn some of the work of some of our other folks, and has covered the front desks when we had things like Snowmageddon or Poison Oak or a variety of other things that seem to happen to our folks as they go. So now she is with us for full time, and she's jumped into the long list of activities that that we need a little bit of assistance with, including clerking. She was here this afternoon for our special planning commission meeting, and is here tonight learning how Gabby clerks meetings. So that's why you see her over here or over there. This is pretty nice over here. I don't know. Is this a better chair or something? We'll have to figure that out. But
see the power.
I will say it different than Chief Foss, but I don't believe Donna would really like to give a speech. I told her 5 to 25 minutes would be fine, but she said I could just introduce her and pass it back to you, Madam Mayor.
Great. Thank you so much for being here, Donna. Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Okay, and as a proclamation, I'm going to invite the chief back to the podium as I present National Night Out, August 1st, 2023. I'm going to come on over to you, sir.
You're moving great.
I'm moving great. I'm going to be without the cane next time, probably. So I'd like to present this to you, and I'd like to read it. So this is a proclamation for National Night Out, August 1st, 2023. Whereas National Night Out is a nationwide annual community building campaign that promotes police, community partnerships, and neighborhood camaraderie to make neighborhoods a safer, better place to live. And whereas the City of Nevada City and the City of Grass Valley have partnered to expand National Night Out as a community building public safety initiative, recognizing our police, fire, public works, and allied public safety partners. And whereas the City of Nevada City and City of Grass Valley rotate hosting the National Night Out event so that both communities can share in one collective celebration, with 2023 hosted by the City of Grass Valley. And whereas 2023 is the 40th annual National Night Out and provides a unique opportunity for the City of Nevada City and City of Grass Valley to join forces with 38 million people and over 16,000 communities from the 50 states, U.S. territories, Canadian cities, and military bases in promoting cooperative police community crime prevention efforts. And whereas the City Council, and the entire community play a vital role in assisting the Nevada City Police Department through joint crime, drug, and violence prevention efforts in the City of Nevada City, and is supporting National Night Out 2023 locally. And whereas it is essential that all citizens of the City of Nevada City be aware of the importance of crime prevention programs and impacts that their participation can have on reducing crime, drugs, and violence in Nevada City and our greater community. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the City of Nevada City and the City Council does hereby recognize August 1st, 2023 as National Night Out in Nevada City and urges all those who live, work, play, and thrive in the city to attend the 40th Annual National Night Out on August 1st, 2023 in Grass Valley.
Awesome,
Yeah,
thank you.
thank you so much, sir.
Is anybody taking that picture or we're good?
You don't want a picture?
Okay, thank you.
Well, the photographer has the night off.
It's a party.
Live online.
All right.
Do a screen cap.
It's a moving picture, and you can find it on YouTube. Okay, we're going to move on to public comment. Government Code Section 54954.3 provides that any member of the public may address the City Council on any matter not on the agenda that is within the subject matter jurisdiction of the city. The Brown Act, with limited exceptions, does not allow the city or staff to discuss issues brought forth under public comment. The council cannot take action on non-agenda items. Concerns may be referred to staff or placed on a future agenda. Please note that comments from the public will also be taken on each agenda item at the time it is heard. Is there any public comment in the room on items not on the agenda? All right, come on up, please.
Hi. Warren Miller, I live at 211 Spring Street, right down there. I have a sewer that just broke a few weeks ago that runs through the city lot that goes from my property over towards the freeway. So last year sometime there was some contractors that you guys had down there taking trees off of that lot with big excavators. And they went through my property and destroyed the pavement. And at the time I went and found them and they said that the city gave them permission. I called, I don't remember who, I think Brian, and he said we'd not give them permission. And he said that they would eventually, come around to fixing that. I've been talking to him about it. We didn't want to do it during certain times of the year because one, the pavement plant shut down, and two, he could potentially get leftover pavement from a city paving job. So we're kind of working that out. But my sewer just broke. I've been talking with Shane about that. I've had them and Mr. Reuter out there to look at it. And we didn't know where the lines went. None of us did. So they went out and dug it up where it was coming up out of the ground, and they ran a snake down it that they can sense and find it, and we now know where it goes, and it goes across the city lot. And it's only about a foot to a foot and a half deep, which leads me to believe, one, since it's old, what they call orangeberry, I don't know if you're familiar with that, but it's old stuff and it eventually decays and it's at its end of life cycle. Two, as such, even if it was or wasn't that stuff, because of the weight of the equipment, it's very likely crushed by the equipment. So Shane's take on the whole thing, the city's not going to pay for any of it because it's from my line, therefore you're not responsible for it. However, the evidence to me shows that the city contractors probably contributed to it. So they want $13,000 to fix it. I don't really have that much money. I was looking for any kind of help whatsoever I could from the city. What I asked Shane for is if the city could just dig the trench, I'll deal with the pipe and have the plumbers help out, and then it would reduce my cost. He said that it would cost more for the city to do it because what you have to pay, wages, etc., which didn't make any sense to me because it's a one-day job. So I'm looking for any kind of help I can get on this. And it has to be done immediately, so I've already scheduled the soonest that the plumber can get out there, which is next Tuesday, because a cesspool is forming, and it's going to have obvious environmental issues with the neighbors below, etc. So I'm on getting it fixed, whether I have to pay for it or not, and that's where I'm at with it. I will add also that I do help out, and that I maintain the strip of land between me and the parking lot, and sometimes that lot as well when it gets overgrown to the point where the homeless start camping in it, or it becomes a fire hazard. And we've tried having the jail crews do it, and they just throw rocks through my windows with weed eaters. So it's just easier for me to pay to do it, and I've been doing that since 1997. So I do help at my expense, and that's what I have to say.
Thank you. Is it Mr. Miller? Is that right? Is it Mr. Miller? Is that right? Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Yes, thank you for your public comment. We can't comment because of the Brown Act, but I want to make sure somebody follows up with him. Great,
Yep.
thank you. Okay, moving on to the consent agenda. All items listed under the consent agenda are considered routine in nature and will be approved by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items. I am looking for a motion and a second to approve the consent calendar.
I move we approve the consent calendar.
I second.
Great. We have a motion by Councilmember Klein and a second by Vice Mayor Peterson. Are there any objections to the motion? All right, I am hearing none, which means the motion carries. Consent agenda adopted. We're going to move on to public hearing. Agenda item number 6. This is going to be a fun one to read. Conduct a public hearing in consideration of ordinance 2023-07, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Nevada City, State of California, amending sections 1801.06, 17.30.08, 16.04.05054, 17.30.020, 17.32.020, 17.36020, 17.4.020, that one, and then 17.52.020, 17.12.125, almost done, 3 more. 17.80.030, 17.12.090, 17.12.130, and repealing section 17.68.025 in order to update the City of Nevada City Municipal Code to be consistent with goals, objectives, policies, and programs adopted as part of the 2019 2019/2027 housing element. Where's Dean when you need him? Sean, Mr. City Manager, tell us more.
This will take less
Numbers
time
out,
than
please.
what you just had to do. So when the city adopted our housing element in 2019, and with each annual report since then, we've identified a need to make a series of small adjustments within our municipal code to comply with current law and the state HCD regulations. This item went to the Planning Commission in December of last year, and there was a couple of items of discussion. Subsequently, it went again in May of this year, and the commission recommended your approval tonight. Most of all of the changes are technical in nature and have to do with the requirements of our housing element, but as a kind of generalization, they omit discretionary review of tree removal permits in the R3 zoning, which is only a couple of parcels in our city when the development meets the 16 unit per acre density standards. We don't have any approved projects that are that way, but if we did have ones, it would make the tree removal permits discretionary instead of non-discretionary through the Planning Commission. It modifies a section of the code to avoid the production of moderate and above moderate income housing in R3 zoned properties. So a portion of our code, it forces the use up to moderate and above moderate instead of forcing it down to moderate and below. The ordinance amends applicable chapters to allow transitional and supportive housing to be allowed in all zones that allow residential uses. And essentially all of our zoning allows residential uses, but they'd be subject to the same processes and standards applicable to the same type of housing in that same zone. That is an SB2 requirement, if you've heard SB2 referenced before. It also amends the residential district standards, including the historic district, to allow for manufactured homes in all zones. That allows single-family residences. That's a requirement under state law. And lastly, it amends a section that addresses employee and farm worker housing provisions under the California Health and Safety Code. So that speaks to areas that are zoned agricultural, zoned rural residential, and potentially zoned residential. We, again, don't have a lot of those lots, but we are required to allow the activities under the California Health and Safety Code to proceed regardless of what our previous ordinances were. Unlikely that there's actually any direct impact. There's no projects that are entitled that this speaks to, and nothing on the horizon or, in the process right now. Nonetheless, we, through our housing element, need to adopt these items, so that's why they're before you tonight. And I will gladly read the title. This is a public hearing, and so if you see fit after the public hearing to motion and second to approve it, I will do the reading of the title, so you don't have to do it again, Madam Mayor.
All right. Any public comment in the room or online on this agenda item? All right. Back to the table. Fellas, what you think?
I just wanted to comment that, sometimes people ask what we do, and in local government, and I always point to the ongoing continuous effort to stay current, relevant, and legal with all of the changes and statutes that come in some really complex ways, and that I have watched as our city manager has just about every meeting moved some article like that through, continuing to bring us in to where we need to be in compliance on some really arcane issues, which is really good news. Bad news was I read today that the state's getting ready to do more legislation to take over our housing and everything else. So we'll get to change them again in the near future. But I just wanted to comment on that. I think it's really important. It doesn't look like much, but when you go to the state and you want money and they're going, hey, you didn't do this, it will make a huge difference. So that's my comment.
Thanks, Gary.
Yep.
I have nothing to add.
Great. And I have nothing to add either. So with that, I'm going to look for a motion.
I move to approve.
Is it my turn? A second.
I think it was your turn. Sorry.
So how about this? Looking for a motion to hold first reading, waive reading of ordinance in its entirety, read by title only, and schedule for second reading and adoption for August 9th, 2023, with the title being,
After you have a motion and a second?
oh, is
Yeah.
it afterwards?
Yes.
Great. Can I?
So
He
moved.
did.
Great, and a second. We've got it.
You got it, awesome. So I'll read the title. This is ordinance 2023-07, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Nevada City, State of California, amending sections 18.01.060, 17.30.080, 16.04.054, 17.30.020, 17.32.020, 17.36.020, 17.40.020, 17.52.020, 17.12.125, 17.80.030, 17.12.090, 17.12.130, and repealing section 17.68.025 in order to update the City of Nevada City Municipal Code to be consistent with goals, objectives, policies, and programs adopted as part of the 2019 through 2027 housing element.
Well done, sir. It must be that seat, huh?
It is.
Is it
yeah.
Dean's seat?
It's
It's
Dean's
the
seat.
hot
The speed talking seat.
Okay, roll call vote, please, Madam Deputy Clerk.
Councilmember Klein.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Peterson.
Yes.
Mayor Fernandez.
Yes.
Motion
All right.
carries 3-0.
3-0, look at that. Moving right along, look at that. We are already at the city manager's report.
Thank you. At the last meeting, I talked about the deadline for homeowners, renters, and businesses to apply for assistance from impacts of the winter storms. It was extended from July 20th, which is already passed, to September 1st, 2023, but that will come very quickly. So we encourage anybody that has any of those impacts to check out our Facebook or Instagram, or go, more importantly, to disasterloanassistance.sba.gov. And for those that came out to our last summer nights last night, it was pretty amazing. That signals that the fair is coming. First day of the fair will be our first meeting in August, August 9th. So we encourage folks, even though that is outside of Grass Valley, not outside of Nevada City, obviously we encourage everybody to go to the fair and, go to the booths that say Nevada City on them, like Nevada City Chamber of Commerce on Treat Street, that kind of thing. But it's going to be a great event out there. You'll see me and my kids. August 1st, as we noted, is National Night Out before we come back. And if you haven't seen or haven't been through downtown lately, the Friar Tuck's Parklet is complete. Our city engineer inspected it today, and it looks very good. Thank you to the Planning Commission for doing the review of that and making all the elements that the council put in that ordinance come to life in that parklet. So excited to see people dining out there as it starts to cool off. And that is all I have for you this evening, Madam Mayor.
Great, thank you, Mr. City Manager. I just want to note that our meetings in August do go back to Wednesdays, and let's bring it back to the table. Any council member report backs?
The Seven Hills District folks, the ones who come to the meetings, picked a new logo, updating the one that I think is from the Renaissance.
1892.
1892. That
Well,
one.
Bill was on that team making it.
Falcone?
Yeah, then that's about right.
So that's going to be coming to us, I believe. Sean, do I believe correctly?
Vibrancy first, and then on to the city council,
Okay.
yes.
So I've seen it, and I sure hope you like it. Yeah, that's what I got. That was fun and nice to get through that part. Seven Hills, it's happening, it's happening.
Great, thanks, Adam.
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. Let's see, attended my first Fire Safety Advisory Committee.
How did that go, Gary?
It was really interesting. There's some work to do. And then,
That's why you're there,
and thank you, and I was happy to have the city manager with me and to keep me informed on the history and the many, many perspectives that exist in that committee. Also, I had the opportunity to see Guys and Dolls. Councilmember Cece plays a very prominent role and has a really lovely song that he sings in there. And it was quite entertaining, and congratulations to Sierra Stage. Again, you're seeing something in our community that exists in such a magnificent way for such a small place. And so it was a wonderful experience. So did that, and trying to stay cool in the summer and out of the heat and hydrated, and summer nights was fun. It was fun. Good time. So that's what I got. Thank you.
Great, thank you so much, Gary. I also saw Guys and Dolls. What a great job, Sierra Stages, Councilmember Cece. I got the opportunity to see it with my parents while they were visiting, which was unique because the last time we were all in a theater together, I was on stage in college and they were in the audience. And there were themes, there were very gendered male, female themes that carried through their whole visit. My dad particularly liked the women turning the guys in for alterations and, marry the man today and change his ways tomorrow kind of became a theme for their visit. And so that was kind of fun. We all would sing that song when things came up. I met with the Sierra Nevada Conservancy and did a tour of Deer Creek while they hosted state legislative aids to talk about the area and the work that we're doing and why rural fire mitigation and forestry is so important. I want to thank them for inviting me to be a part of that. And then also attended the League of Cities regional meeting, supporting Jan Arbuckle in her role there and representing the city of Nevada City, and also got to vote for their new officers, which was great to be able to do and make some connections in the region, and looking forward to the conference in September with all of you. That's all I have. Anything else? All right. I'm looking for a motion.
My gosh.
I move that we adjourn.
Can I get a second?
Holy Toledo.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right,
Yeah,
meeting adjourned. Thank you all for coming. Quick one tonight.